Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about animation. Old school animation, the way we used to do it when I started out, drawing on paper. Now, some of you purists out there still want to do this, and personally, I think it's really good to learn it, to understand it, and to use it once in a while. I love, as much as I love animating digitally now because I can instantly see the playback, and it's just much more efficient for when I'm creating a production. There's something that's magical, really, about having a stack of drawings that you can flip through and you can see the movement and you can hold in your hands. And I don't think I'll ever get sick of that. And so I wanted to take you through today and show you a couple of basic moves that we use when we're flipping our paper so that we can see the movement. I'm doing everything bottom pegged, first of all. Some of the old school guys will do it top pegged. Personally, I've never understood how anyone flips paper or does animation with top pegging. I've never quite understood it. I always learned bottom pegged, so there's that. And what's the advantage with bottom pegging is that it frees up the top of the paper. And since I'm going to be sitting here looking over the top, that's the best place to flip to see the movement. And when we animate by hand, we can see 5 drawings at a time, because I can see the bottom drawing and I can put it between all my fingers and get a drawing between each finger, and I can see that movement. And it's kind of a roll, you just kind of roll your fingers and you can see the movement. This is how every shot from Beauty and the Beast, every shot from The Lion King, and everything else that we did back then, this is how it's all done. Now, the big thing I want to show you today is how to create an in-between. What's an in-between? Well, the in-between is just that. It's the in-between drawing. It's this drawing, let's say, between these 2 drawings. Now, if I want to draw that, I can't really draw in here and flip back and forth. It's really difficult to do that. So, what I need to do is I need to do the drawing on top. And there's a special way to flip for that. So, let's say I need to look at this drawing, and then here's the in-between, and there's the drawing that I'm going into. So I need to flip here, 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 here. And so you can start to see that movement. And if I go fast enough, you can see that movement, see? Very, very cool. So I want to show you how I create an in-between by flipping like that. So we're just going to create an in-between between this drawing and this drawing. You can see the movement. There's a fair amount of room left to create that in-between. And so, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to throw a fresh sheet of paper on top. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to look at, you can see I start flipping right away. Because what I want to do is I want to see the movement between these 2 drawings and start to imagine the drawing in between. And so what I'll do is I'll flip back and forth and just start drawing. I'll start throwing in little ticks here and there where I want the in-between drawing to go. I don't use the translucency of the paper. What I'm trying to do is look at the drawings themselves and then put the in-between drawing right in between. Now, another thing I'll do sometimes is I'll just draw that circular shape for the head. And that gives me a place to start. And you can see what I'm doing is I'm flipping back and forth and just kind of kicking it here and there. You can start to see the drawing kind of emerge. So if I flip back and forth, you can start to see that movement. And you see what I'm doing, once again, I'm looking at that drawing, looking at my in-between, then the last drawing. And when you flip back and forth, like that, you can see it. Now, after a while, I've done this for 30 years, and it just becomes It becomes second nature. You don't even think about it as you're animating. The movement is just completely natural after you've done it enough. And you'll start to see, I can see I got a little bit of wobble in the eye. There we go. Let's get that nose. Now the nose is catching up. I've got a little drag on the nose. There we go. See that movement? You can start to see it there. There. There we go. Get that nostril in there. So you can start to see. Now I got a stretch. You can see the stretch down in the lower jaw into the squash. So I want to make sure I can get that nicely in between, going from the stretch to the squash. So I got to do something kind of in between. Hey, imagine that. I'm doing an in between. There we go. So there you can start to see. And then the other thing you can do is I can flip into that in between as well. I can flip the other drawings to see if it's going smoothly into that. You know, there's our start drawing right there. And him coming and looking up and having this glare. The character's got this glare. And then flip right into that final pose. There we go. So like I said, this is really the basis for whenever we're animating on paper. It's the basis for everything that we do. This is how we get all of that animation done. And you just do it thousands and thousands of times over and over again. To get that animation to work. Like I said, the more you practice this, the more second nature it becomes. When I first started, I really couldn't see the animation when I was flipping for in-betweens like this. I had a hard time seeing that, but I realized once I got faster at it, then I was able to see it. And a lot of times that's what it takes. And it's like I said, it's a little bit of practice trying to get that flip just right. And you'll end up with very, very crinkly paper like this. You know, you'll notice, you can always tell what hand an animator draws with because the opposite side is always crinkled up. And it's funny because most people are right-handed. I'm left-handed. And so other people would come, you know, my assistants and things like that were right-handed would come in. So all my scenes always had two sides crinkly instead of one side. And in some areas like this, there's not really any movement. So I just kind of trace over, or the movement's very subtle. I'm using an ebony pencil for those of you that are curious. I love using ebony pencils when in my hand-drawn animation. Ebonies are made by Prismacolor. It's a graphite pencil. Nice and dark. I think it's the equivalent of about a 2 or 3B, I'm assuming. Something like that. Extra black. Extra smooth. Oh, there's a little bit of movement right here. So we're going to erase here. I always keep my eraser right up on my little clip up there, my scene clip. This clip up here, this is where we used to keep our exposure sheets. The exposure sheets are where you recorded all of your drawings so that people down the road knew how to expose the scene in camera. There we go. So we're coming into the finish here. So there's an in-between right there. You can see the drawing. And as I flip back and forth, you can see how we did that. And it all comes to this type of flipping. This is the way that you flip in order to create an in-between. You have to see the drawing before, the in-between, and then the drawing after. Drawing before, in-between, drawing after. You can see this is a key because on my keys I tend to get really bold and draw because I really want that strong pose. So now all I have to do is just flip this back here, flip this right here, boom. And now I can flip it with all of the other drawings and I've got an in-between. It just flows right into the action. See that? Just flows in right in with the action. So that's a little bit of old school lessons for you. Like I said, I love animating digitally by hand. I love working in TV Paint and working that way simply because of the sheer speed of it. Being able to, I don't have to shoot anything. I can play it back instantly. But like I said, you know, being able to sit down and draw with a pencil and a piece of paper and create life that way, you know, just like this is there's something very magical about it. And I love being able to hold that paper at the end. But anyway, I just wanted you to see how to create an in-between, how to flip for an in-between working traditionally on paper. So go ahead and give it a try. If you're an aspiring animator, pull out some paper, put it on a disc, and give it a shot. Do some animation that way. It's really fulfilling. It's really cool. And you can put some beauty back into the world. So until next week, I will talk to you later. Have a great one. Bye.